let's get into it with some brows. Okay, so if you're new here, you will notice that brows are my jam. I just love them. And one of my favorite brow products is this Morphe dual-ended eyebrow brush. It's a narrow tip and it has a spoolie at the other end of the side, and it only costs like $6. So now that Morphe is in Ulta and Target, dare I say, I just go and grab one whenever I need, and I just start with underlining my brows, fill it in with product by moving it back and forth, take the other end side of the spoolie, move the product around to kind of disperse it and give it a nice full effect, and I just repeat the same thing at the top when I overline it. So I make sure that the arch of my brow meets at the tips. I fill that in because you got to make sure your brow is together, okay? And you have to know that brows are sisters and not twins. So it's okay if they don't look exactly the same because your face isn't exactly the same on both sides. So I do the same thing for the other side. Keep going, underlining that brow, filling it in, take it all the way to the end, filling the tail. If your brow's like mine and you have a lot of sparse hairs in an empty and negative space, it's going to be imperative that you take your time when constructing your brow and making sure you disperse that product evenly in your brow. You'll hear my baby back there. Hey, Junie. So, background, I was getting ready for a Mac shift. Your girl was about to be late and the husband was not home yet, so it was me and my girl in the closet trying to multitask. Okay, so we're going to clean up underneath the brow with some Pro Longwear concealer, or is this my NARS? I don't know, but these are some of my favorite concealers. I'm thinking this is my NARS like paint pot concealer. Love that concealer for sure. Full coverage. It goes on and glides on so smooth. So what I do is I just lightly, carve out my brow just a little bit. I got back into carving. There was a time I wasn't carving, but now I'm into it. And I kind of just move that concealer product all over my lid a little bit because it sets for a nice primer for shadow. So like I said, I was getting ready for a shift at MAC. And I didn't really know what my vibes were going to be that day. All I needed to know was that I need to be beat honey. So here we are. You see me going over the top of my brow with some Pro Longwear concealer. I know that for sure. I always use the liquid Pro Longwear concealer when I'm just trying to like buff it out and give that skin-like finish. That's like medium to full coverage. It's one of my go-tos for sure. I'll do another video at some time when I go through all of my favorite concealers. There's about 4 or 5 that I keep in heavy rotation, okay, because they're just that good. So as you see, I'm moving the product or just kind of like patting the product in my face with my fingertip. If you didn't know, the warmth from your body temperature when you are putting on makeup helps the product melt into the skin faster or just more seamlessly for that seamless look. The theme for the skin for any makeup application that I do is always, it needs to give skin at all times, okay? And that also starts at skincare, which that's a whole nother video as well. But skin prep, skincare, making sure your complexion products are your correct shade is very important. And I can't wait to watch you guys kind of either recreate or take some of the things that you learn from my videos and do it on yourself. If you haven't already, please take this time to subscribe, like, drop some thoughts in the comments. Let me know what more you'd like to see from me. But as you see, I'm doing the same thing to this brow over here. Oh, Junie must be talking to me. But I mean to tell you guys, she was talking my head off while I was trying to record this content. If it's not her, it's my 6-year-old, because they just love to really need me when I'm doing something especially for me. If my mama's out there, any parents out there in general, like, y'all know what I'm talking about. So like I said, I moved the concealer all over my lid, getting it ready for that eye look. I noticed that I didn't have any lashes, so this look is not going to end with lashes in the house, but when I get to work, it will be there. So I start off doing my eyelid. I don't know what color I was going for or what theme I was going for, so I didn't do my face yet. Whenever I'm using darker colors, I tend to just do my eyes first. So I'm going in with the transition shade from the Makeup by Mario Master Mattes palette. I'll drop all the details specific to this eye look in the caption or in the description of the video, but when you're applying that transition shade, you can do it all over your lid and make sure you're going back and forth lightly, light touches everywhere, to cover it and kind of buff that color out. You don't want any like harsh lines or splotches of pigment anywhere, so just buffing that out. Then I take a more fluffy narrow brush to do a darker color. I don't believe this was black. I think this was like a brown. Trying to make a diffused liner. I don't really do well with that much with wing liner, believe it or not, but I like to give me a good little calm smoky eye. So that is essentially what we are doing here, but not really. Oops, got some in my eye. So yeah, just buff it out, drag it out to the outer corners of your lid. Make sure you get enough pigment in there. Again, this is all about preference, so however light or dark you want this shadow to be, you can do that. And so yeah, I'm just buffing it out till I get it to where I think it is eye shape wise. I think I have an almond eye shape, so I like to go into the middle with my shadows whenever I'm doing a liner. I think it looks really pretty like that. And I get really heavy with the pigment toward the end, because what I'm going to do, and you'll see it, is I'll spray a little Fix Plus on a tissue, and I'll kind of just wipe under my lid to clean up under my eye, and it'll leave a clean, liner-like, diffused look, which is goals. I go in here with a little bit of a more deeper brown. It's like an espresso caramelly color, just to layer over top of that brown that I use for the bottom of my lid, my lash line. So I went in there, buffed that in there because I wanted a little bit more depth to my eye look. So pretty, guys. It's giving micro sunset. Yeah, I love that. Buffing it in, blending it out to the eye. Don't worry about the mess underneath your eye. It's gonna go away. See? Told you to wipe my eye. Clean. Told you, trust the process. Trust the process. Anytime it's a wing involved, you always just gotta trust the process. Okay, here I am buffing in that skin tint I was telling you guys about. It is amazing, okay? I am a light makeup girly. I do not necessarily like a full coverage unless I'm like layering on the products. And even when I'm layering on the products, I don't want it to look like I have cake face. So this skin tint is little to no coverage, you know, I guess, what is it, light to medium coverage. It's in Light 3 by MAC Cosmetics. This has been my go-to lately. It's illuminating, it's hydrating, it has a little skincare infused with it. So during these harsh winters where my skin is screaming for moisture and hydration, she's that girl. So I use my beauty blender to apply it or blend it into my skin. You see, you'll also spend a lot of my time just blending, because again, we want a skin-like finish. We don't want any harsh lines. I don't think that one little cursive line was enough, so I went in with two layers. And again, that's all into what I feel. Sometimes I do one layer, sometimes I do two, but because I was going into work, we needed 2 layers because we have to be beat. All my OG MAC girlies know, when it's time, okay? And you gotta go in looking like that girl, because then that's also how you get clients. That's also how you get people asking about makeup and what they should get, because you judge a MAC girl by her cover. That's it. When I was younger and I was going into the MAC store, if the girl didn't have good eyebrows, because that was my insecurity at the time, I was not talking to her. I went to the artist that I wanted to look like, or that I loved and I was kind of like infatuated with and I wanted to be like. So I always keep that in my back pocket, in my mind, and like, that's who I need to be every time I step into the store. If you're wondering how I even ended up back at MAC, child, I mean, it's not really a long story, but it is a long story. So before I get into it, I just want you to see what I'm doing here. I am concealing after I do my base complexion product. Why, you ask? Because I always say, how do I need to know or how am I going to know what I'm going to conceal if I haven't, done my makeup yet, if I haven't put my foundation on? So for me, concealing can be before or after, but for right now, it's after. Because now that I've got my light to medium coverage foundation on, I'm seeing what wasn't quite covered that I need a little bit extra love on. So I'm going in with my Pro Longwear concealer that I did 1 or 2 pumps on the back of my hand, grabbed it up with my brush because placement is key with makeup. So instead of just taking my beauty blender and just kind of like buffing it all over into my face, I use my concealer brush to place the product over any blemishes or imperfections that I really wanted to make sure were covered. So back to my story about how I got to MAC. I miss MAC so much. 2 kids, I kind of was like trying to figure out what's next. If you know me, I've done a little bit of everything as far as occupations are concerned, even on the side. So it's kind of like I'm tired of like reinventing the wheel, trying to find that thing when I'm naturally just good at makeup. So, I was posting a Throwback Thursday, being really nostalgic about my MAC makeup days, and a friend of mine who clearly this is going to tell my age, she didn't even know that I worked for MAC before. And mind you, I worked for MAC 10 years ago. I know. I get sad thinking about it sometimes, but OG MAC days were the best days, and I'm happy that I got to experience the true MAC Cosmetics era. So anyway, she ended up actually being a manager or a key holder at MAC, and she kind of put me on, and she was actually working at my old store, so the process went pretty quick, and the next thing you know, I'm a freelancer, and I wouldn't want to be back with the company in any other capacity because freelancing is just literally free. It's freeing. I'm not confined to a schedule. I pick up shifts, whenever they need me, if I can make it. Hey boo, I see you back there. Okay, right now I am bronzing. Okay, I'm bronzing with NARS Laguna Cream Bronzer with my Hourglass Angle Brush. Love that brush, love this bronzer. I contour with bronzer. That's just my thing, my jam. It's so good. And whenever I make that little eye roll, I'm like, oh my God, yes. Do you see that? It's like melting into my skin. It's blending. Meanwhile, my child does not care that I'm trying to be beat and she wants me to wipe her nose. Like, get out the frame, girl. Okay. She don't care about that though, y'all, because, the boogers be boogering. Switching gears real quick because this is how my mind is. Who loves to get their kids boogers? I kind of do. It's low-key satisfying. Like, even when I used to grab them out with a Q-tip when they were a little younger. But I digress. Your girl has a big forehead, so I bronze almost all of it. Like, I bronze it up. I need you to see that color on me, okay, baby? I need you to see it. So I had to take a quick break because, again, she kept talking about her nose. I had to wipe it. So you're about to see the struggle. And if you know this grip, comment below. Triple chins activated. I had to grab her. Yep, got in there. She was mad at me, but it's okay. I got what I came to get. Okay, I'm from around the way, and I'm leaving with something. Okay, so back to this bead, y'all. All right, so I'm bronzing, and it's just looking so good to me in the camera. I have these lights that I got from Amazon. I'll link them below, but literally, I don't know why I was ever doing my makeup without it. Like, who did I think that I was? Okay, Fix Plus it up. I could drink Fix Plus if it was healthy, I would drink it. The hydration, the glow, get out of here. So I picked that blender up because, again, I bronzed my entire face, all the way up into my hairline, right there over by my little sideburns or lack thereof sideburns, but I blend it out. So the great part about having a beauty blender, check it for a wedgie. Got it. Okay, the best part about blending with the beauty blender is that your product is still on there, so you're literally blending everything together. Bomb. So now I am contouring my nose, and I'm using the Patrick Ta Angled Nose Contour Brush. Why didn't anybody think of this before? Why didn't I think of this before? This is like snatching your nose for beginners 101 kind of brush. It has the angled tip that fits perfectly in the curvature of your eye when you're going down to your bridge of your nose. And then you're just kind of you can pat the product, you can drag the product. I'm using the Milk makeup I think it's in Stoked Contour Stick for my nose. I am obsessed. I've been using it for over a year now, and I have zero complaint, okay? And I'm just patting it in along the sides of my nose. I don't do nothing too crazy. Make sure I bring it up into my eyebrow because, you know, makeup is an illusion. We need the shadows to work in our favor. And I buff it out with the other side of the brush. Amazing. Okay, going back in with a lighter concealer just to make sure I bring a little light back to the inner corners or underneath my eye. I'm gonna let that sit and dry down for a little bit because I like how it thickens up, and when you blend it out, you really see that brightness under your eye that I'm looking for. I'm not going UK bright, but I'm going bright enough, okay? So I'm just gonna pat it in. Boom, placement, T. Okay? And the girl's always interrupted me. Like, I think she was trying to watch something on Netflix. She didn't care that I was trying to blend. Okay, now that I'm done with all my creams, I'm going to go in with my powder, my mineral skin finish in medium golden from MAC. I love that. Between that and the Sephora skin finish, it's literally the same thing. I have both. Love it. So I go with that all over my face, or more so in the areas where I did not bronze, but I go along like the ends or the edges of where I bronze. So again, I'm blending seamlessly because there's no harsh lines in my makeup whatsoever. So once I did that, you'll see my face start to mattify a little bit, but it still has a natural sheen because we don't want to be casket ready, okay? We just want to be skin and set. So I'm setting all my creams and liquids right now with powders. And so I go in with my MAC 168 brush, I believe that is, with a Fenty bronzer. And I'm just going along where I put that cream bronzer from NARS and setting it in, pressing the bronzing powders into my cheeks. Look at that cheekbone. Hey, girl. All right, into my hairline. If y'all don't put that bronzer into the hairline, I don't know what to tell you. It has to look like it's coming from the glow within, okay? We don't want to see no disparities, okay? Now I'm blending out my concealer with the Beauty Blender again because we already know why. Class answer at once. I'll wait. We've been listening. All right, so I'm blending it out, making sure everything's good, making sure I like it. It's looking great to me in the mirror. She's looking beat. She's looking ready. And now I think I'm gonna go in with, drumroll please, some powder. Now, I've tried quite a few powders. I've only repurchased 2 brands, Huda and Laura Mercier. If you guys got some out there that you are strongly recommending, please let me know in the comments. But these are my holy grails. These are what I go to. So right now, I'm just using Huda's baking powder and banana bread because look at that. I put it on, it's like everything just disappears. It melts into the skin, and I don't look super dried down. I love how it smooths the under eye. I love how it accents the contour of the nose without looking so harsh. Nothing looks harsh. Everything looks smooth. So that's why I use it. And I have my little triangle pouches. I can't believe I used to bake with the Beauty Blender. I mean, you can also apply a blush with a brush. You can apply with a brush. But I love my triangle pouch. I love it so much. And sometimes I do pressed powder then loose. I do have like a MAC Studio Fix powder that I use as a setting powder underneath my eye. But today I didn't do that. I just did my Huda. So shout out to you, girl. And we're going to go in with the best part of all. We're going to use some blush. So I believe here that I use Patrick Ta's Blush Trio that I got a while ago. It has like some peaches and pinks in it. So I kind of just swipe my brush along all 3 and like put them on my face. And I love it. Very cute. Very demure. Very rosy. She's blushing. I love a good blush moment, okay? And he just released some new shades that I am excited to try. I definitely just got rid of a lot of makeup because why did I still have all of my Anastasia Glow palettes untouched? Why did I have the Glow kits untouched? I had too much, okay? I did keep my lipsticks because we know lipstick don't expire for real, y'all. But I had to get rid of so much stuff, and I couldn't believe that I kept them as like collector's items. It was given hoarder, and I had to cut it out. So I used 2025, the first month like January. I didn't do a fast necessarily, although I have not been drinking. Your girl really wants a glass of wine. Highlight. Remember we used to highlight for the gauze? Now it's just a little subtle skin glow, but it's a skin finish, again, from MAC. But yeah, so I used 2025 for January. I used the first month of 2025 to reset. It's crazy that they expect us to get our life together between Christmas and New Year's Eve. So this whole entire month of January, I've just been really decluttering and cleaning out so I can get focused, so I can get consistent, so I can continue to deliver this content. Okay, I finished it off with some Fix Plus. I was about to do my lip, and then my husband called, so I'll just show you what it looked like at the end. Lashes were applied at MAC, and so is my lip. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think of the video. All right, bye.